Hello, coolers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on the latest developing stories. We start with this young Barca talent, Marc Casado, as it has been reported that Barcelona believe that the 19-year-old academy product is not ready to replace Busquets, despite Xavi calling the player for pre-season. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then secondly, in this episode, we are going to be talking about Frenkie De Jong as Bayern Munich are still showing strong interest, but Barcelona have resisted any offers, claiming that the 75 million euro rated midfielder is not for sale. He is considered as an untouchable. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, as we get right into the full stories, please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end as Barcelona continue their search for a new defensive midfielder to replace captain Sergio Busquets. They are fast running out of targets in the transfer market. Indeed, Marcelo Brozovic is the latest target slipping out of Barca's hands after moves for Martin Zubimendi and Joshua Kimmich were rendered practically impossible. With the club now looking for other options, the name of Academy 8 Marc Casado has been thrown into the mix. But according to Adrian Sanchez, Barcelona do not see the 19-year-old midfield prodigy ready to take up such a responsibility at the club this moment. Casado has been with Barca since 2016 when he joined the La Masia setup from CF Dam. The defensive midfielder has enjoyed steady progress through the ranks at the Catalan outfit. The teenager was part of the pre-season tour in the United States last year and even made his first team debut for Barcelona in November against Victoria Pleasant. So it remains his solitary senior appearance for FC Barcelona, but he has been a regular in training sessions under Xavi Hernandez. It is expected that Casado will be on the preseason trip to the US this summer as well. In fact, it has also been suggested that one of him or Alex Garrido could be promoted to the first team in the upcoming season. Why that may be so, Barcelona believe that Casado is still not ready to replace Busquets in the senior sides. The Catalans think that the Spanish A still has a lot of development to go through before he can step up to that level. So while he may be used as a possible backup in that pivot position next season, he is not seen as a frontline option for the role at the moment. Of course, Barcelona's top priority to look for a new DM so far have not yielded fruits, and Barca have been going through one target to the other in order to push for a signing, but to no avail. And I keep asking myself, who is out there who can be, who can be reliable? Because honestly, Barca don't want to spend. They don't have the money, by the way, to spend huge. Because had it been Barca was in a better financial state, there is no doubt that it could have been far easier for us to get a replacement for Busquets than it is. Because if you want to go for a young player who has qualities in that role as a DM, normally the players club will ask for a very huge amount of money, which is reasonable, by the way. And Barca will likely pay that. But these days, after a lot have been going on in our financial records, Barca can't just go for any kind of player because they know that the price that they will give them, it will be so huge that they won't be able to afford. So Barca have been going for low cost options, but up to now, nothing looks very possible. Um, of course, players like Martin Zubimendi, Joshua Kimmich, who were Xavi's top choices, it was practically impossible for any deal to even go through. Players like Sofian Amrabat, who was also looking likely to join Barca, everything collapsed. And players like Marcelo Brozovic, yesterday getting the big blow that the player might likely go now to Saudi Arabia, as Al Nassr look very set to wrap up the deal as soon as possible. And of course, but Xavi must be going through a lot, thinking about what possible solutions can we do this? How can we get our new defensive midfielder to replace Busquets? Because normally the best option is going for a far younger player who can stay for the club for a long time. But Barca were going for Marcelo Brozovic, who is, yes, although he's 30 years old already, but at least better than nothing. Better than nothing. Now that Brozovic might likely be lost, what can they do? And definitely, there are players that we have in our ranks like Marc Casado, players like Nico Gonzalez, who are DMs by trade. Those are players that, Xavi himself have been considering. But players like Marc Casado, who had featured very sparsely last season, he's a DM. But despite showing top quality for him to be integrated to the first team, it haven't meant anything to Xavi because it can still be considered that he might be considered as a replacement for Busquets. But, the manager and his coaching staff, they don't see him as mature enough to take over that role. They don't see him as mature enough to take over the role as Busquets' replacement. You know, so there's still a lot to be decided as to who will replace Busquets in that role. And as it stands right now, Xavi does not consider any of his young talents like Casado to take over that mantle. This comes also after when there were reports that players like Nico Gonzalez did not, even if he comes back, Xavi won't consider him as a replacement for Busquets. Then, moving on to the next story of discussion, on Friday evening, reports emerged claiming that Bayern Munich were monitoring Barca midfield mainstay Frenkie De Jong heading into the summer transfer window. While it was reported that they were only monitoring and there was nothing concrete at this point. A fresh update from Bild in Germany is now reporting that the Bavarian manager, Thomas Tuchel, has asked the German champions to make a strong push to sign Frenkie de Jong. Thomas Tuchel has been a long-term admirer of Frenkie, as he had even tried to sign him while being manager of Chelsea last summer. Now the German tactician is keen to sign the 26-year-old at Bayern Munich. However, a transfer looks extremely unlikely as Barca regards Frenkie de Jong as an untouchable in the squad. From close to being forced out of the club last summer to attaining the status of non-transferable, Frenkie de Jong has come a long way in the past 12 months or so. Barca, in a dire situation right now, tried so hard to offload Frenkie de Jong last summer and even agreed a deal with Manchester United, but the midfielder dug his heels and said no, he won't leave. And having done so, he has now grown into a permanent fixture in the middle of the pack for Xavi Hernandez. Indeed, Frenkie de Jong, whose market value stands currently at 75 million euros, finished last season with 43 appearances in all competitions, which he even contributed 2 goals and 4 assists. With Busquets leaving, the Netherlands international's importance could further rise as he can play as a pivot and help ease the transition of the replacement that Barca do sign. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time. Bye bye.